Hi everybody, welcome to the video. Today we're going to continue our exploration on Thanalan. We're going to be exploring the northern area here. We're going to try to cover as much of it as we can today. So let's get right into it. And we're going to try to keep the map in this video. We're going to try to limit how many times I open the map, because this area is quite interesting. It's a lot of like vast cliffs and sort of like valley-like areas. And the song that I have playing right now is called The Widershins. I think that's what it's called. Apparently this song is another song that plays in Thanalan. It says from patch 1.18 and up. So this theme I don't think I ever heard before. So this is the first time of me listening to it. And so, excuse me, I have very exciting news. The quest that I found in Gridania the other day, I found out it is actually a fully functioning and working quest. So we're also going to be looking at that and checking that out. It won't be till we do the Gridania video, but that's something to look forward to. So I started another character and then I went to the NPC and it looks like it's a quest that's been fully implemented. Because I think when I looked on their wiki of the project leader, I think they only have a few quests that have been fully implemented. Here, we'll give you a shot of what all this looks like here. I was so happy to find out that quest is fully functional. Like, even if it's just a couple of quests, like the more I can learn about this version of Final Fantasy 14, like the better. It'd be interesting to nudge my character down there and see what's all the way down there. Maybe we'll do that as like a bonus before we end our section of Thanalan. I'm gonna try to steer away from the caves because I think we got the idea of what most of the caves look like. And once again, I started in the game with it being nighttime. Despite having to work later, I always start the game at night. Which I guess it would make sense since usually when I get home, it's usually nighttime. But Thanalan looks so much better in the daylight. yesterday when I was uploading one of the videos. So I started playing the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword on my Switch. Because it is the only 3D Zelda game I haven't played. And the funny story about Skyward Sword, let's make sure we're kind of going. We're gonna go down here because I want to see what that place looks like down here. So the funny story about playing Skyward Sword is I never wanted to play the Wii version because of the motion controls. It just seemed too much of a hassle to play a game and to swing a controller around. So when I saw the Switch version, I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better about this. So I was like, well, I'll give it a try since it looks better, it looks like it plays better. It still has the motion controls, but the Switch motion controls are a lot better. So the ironic thing is so I bought it and I started playing it. I just reached the Forest Temple, or the Ancient Temple, I think is what they call it. And so I tried it in the motion controls first, because I tend to like to have the controllers like separated from the dock. And I kind of got a feel what the motion controls are like, and I was like, okay, I don't have to move my arms or hands around too much for this to kind of be like okay, this is kind of ridiculous. And then I played it in the controller format, and it's almost a lot easier to play it in the motion controls than the actual controller itself. And I thought that was just kind of hilarious, because it's like I didn't want to play it on the Wii because of the motion controls, but when I play it on the Switch, I'm actually would rather play through the motion controls on the Switch. Which, the only thing about the controller aspect that kind of is daunting to me is like one of the right joystick. Yeah, the right joystick is what you use to control the sword with. Oops, I don't want to. Maybe I can walk up there. Nope. Wanted to see what that place looks like. So, I mean, like yesterday when I was playing it, I kind of got used to like the right analog stick, using it for the sword attacks. But I feel like they could have done the spin attack a lot better. I'm also playing it without the shield, because I feel like the wooden shield is just gonna break every time, like in a matter of seconds when I use it. So, but I'm enjoying it. It looks really good on the Switch. It's just every time I try to pick up a new game, it's just like Final Fantasy 14 is just really just taking over all of it. Like, especially Elden Ring. A game that I was really excited about. Should we see? Let's see what's in here. I have a feeling it's gonna be some sort of like, may not even be anything in here at all. But Elden Ring was, of course, a game that I was really excited about, because anything with high fantasy, George R.R. Martin, like, and just like, and you combine that with From Software. Oh, it's just a generic cave. Combine that with From Software's game development, stuff like that. It's just like I never really played Dark Souls. I do own a couple of them, so they're like, it seemed like Elden Ring was the most out of the sort of Dark Souls gameplay style that I was more interested in, only because of the high fantasy element. Oops, I cannot push the keyboard today, or keyboard buttons. Let's see, okay, so we looked at that. Okay, we can kind of go up and around. Yeah, let's do that. So I bought Elden Ring, and then I created my character, and the funny story is, so I played it a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Well, apparently when I started it, it didn't download the entire game. So I was like, okay, I got a little bit into it, but I was like, okay, I mean, like this game I will definitely enjoy. So I finished downloading it, and then it's like, okay, when I come home from work tonight, I'm gonna play Elden Ring. Of course, I was gonna recreate my character and try to make him look as ridiculous as he could, or as I can. But when I got home, I played Final Fantasy XIV instead. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm going the right way. I tend to have a thing where I walk in the opposite direction of where I actually want to go. I do really like this area. It's, you know, it's kind of like not as expansive, but it's kind of like closed in a little bit. At least there's a little bit more variety. So since we're on the topic of The Legend of Zelda, so I talked about how The Legend of Zelda was the first game that I'm pretty sure it's the first video game I've ever played, and it was Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game that I ever played. And then it was Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64, and then that's when I started playing Final Fantasy. Yeah, I absolutely loved Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Like, I was obsessed with fighting Ganondorf over and over. I probably went through the game a good, at least, more than 40 times. And even still, like, with... Like, every now and then I'll load up the N64 and go into Ganon's tower, and like even though it's really easy, like I wish it would make a harder version of that fight, because it's so epic when the music is playing. Like out of the, and I'm talking about like Ganondorf, like the person, not like Beast version Ganondorf, which is also a really good, like, intense battle. I'm pretty sure I played, yeah, almost every single Legend of Zelda game, now that I'm thinking about it. But Ocarina of Time, of course, was one of my favorites. And then the Wind Waker, it was such an interesting time with the Wind Waker, because a lot of people were turned off about the cartoony look, but the way I saw it was like, this is just a Zelda game. Like, I know this is gonna be really good. And the fact that we get to travel across the ocean, it was just like a completely new idea. It's like, now I'm not traveling across the land, I'm traveling by boat, going to all these different islands. Like, other than Ocarina of Time, it's like the Wind Waker is, to me, like one of the best Zelda games ever made. And I know Breath of the Wild came out, and I really like Breath of the Wild. They're just, I know, like the earlier Zelda games weren't so heavily story driven. Let's see, where should we go? I feel like there's not really going to be anything over there. We're just going to continue on our way over here. Like, I know I wanted to cover everything, but I know, like, a lot of it is going to kind of be rinse and repeat. So, Breath of the Wild is also an interesting story with me because, oh, we gotta go down here. So obviously when I first heard about Breath of the Wild, I was like, oh my god, yes, this is gonna be an amazing game. And don't get me wrong, it is an amazing game. My mentality, or my first impressions of Breath of the Wild was like, it almost felt like when I first played Ocarina of Time, it was just sort of that like it hit me in a certain way that it sort of felt like I was going back in time playing like Ocarina of Time, but it's obviously a new game and more expansive. It's like Ocarina of Time with the limitations of the N64, they tried to... Oh, I went the completely wrong way. Is... With the limitations, obviously the actual, like, 3D levels were obviously very small, but metaphorically they comprised of a vast world in like the text and dialogue, whereas Breath of the Wild, it's like visually expansive and you can just go anywhere, and there's honestly just no limitations to it. I do like games where they just kind of drop you in and be like, okay, you figure out what to do, or what you want to do. The thing that I wish Breath of the Wild did, which they might do in Breath of the Wild 2, is when I first saw the trailers for Breath of the Wild, I was thinking, like, oh, I might actually be able to, like, travel around Hyrule with, like, Zelda and stuff. And that's honestly, the unfortunate thing for me is, like, they did that through the flashback scenes, and you don't really get to travel anywhere with Zelda. So, I mean, I was kind of disappointed in that, because I was kind of thinking, okay, it's a vast world with story-heavy elements. That's the only thing I'd probably criticize Breath of the Wild is, like, as good as it is, it really does not have an interesting story. Like, like the 4 like mechanical beings, like what are they called? The machines that the champions pilot, like those are really cool. I really wish they released DLC with more of those. Like, I really hope that's very heavy in Breath of the Wild 2, because those things are just like, I think it was La Ruta, I think was one of them. Von Naboris. Like, Von Naboris was probably one of my favorite out of the, like, sort of like temples in that place. Or game, what am I saying? And that's kind of like the unfortunate thing is when it comes to open world games, it's like well, the hardest part about making an open world game is you have to create this very like diverse land, and you have to populate it with as much stuff as you could possibly fill it with to make it interesting. Creating so much variety is like, it's really hard to do. Because you have to create stuff where people would be invested in actually doing. Like, as an example, all the shrines in Breath of the Wild, I honestly really just looked up all the locations and just went there. Like, the puzzles were almost the same to me. It was just, I mean, different layout, but it was mostly the same. So like, I really didn't like, I mean, I did figure out the puzzles myself, but it was like, I honestly just looked up all the locations and then went and got, or just beat them all. And but those to me are probably, I mean, they're like very minor. Like, one of the things that I like most about that game is the like cooking in that game, because it's like with Final Fantasy 14 is like you have to gather all the ingredients to make certain things. And with Breath of the Wild, you basically just throw them in and basically just see what you make. Now, obviously, like Final Fantasy 14 is a completely different game, and not to criticize the way you had to do crafting in this game, because I like doing all the job, like or crafting stuff. So I think I'm level 64 right now in the cloth and armor. The thing I really need to get up is the fishing. But there was a week where I just spent just doing straight crafting. And I got to a point where I was like, I should just take a break and we'll do some, or I just did some side quests. I really cannot talk today. See, that would just really lead to Mordana, and we can't really go there. Gorge. Yeah, so we're gonna just... Yeah, okay, yeah, we're gonna go, obviously we're gonna go over here. I wonder what's generating from that. I wonder if it's ether. Because of the blue energy. I guess that would kind of make sense, because it's like, I mean, they need the crystals and stuff to summon the primals. This is actually a really good theme for the daytime in Thanalan. Like, honestly, if I was playing this version about 10 years ago and I was hearing this music, like, I wouldn't mind just running around Thanalan for like hours. See what we got up here real quick. Looks like it might be another cave. I wonder if this song is in the Realm Reborn. It's been a while. I'm sure I'll run into it when I'm on my ult. Because even though I started a Realm Reborn back in last June, there are still some things that I haven't, right, I kind of forgot. It would probably be more interesting to go this way. That would probably just lead up to that machinery there, which we looked at them in the last video and it looked like they just didn't have any collision to them. I feel like these areas are supposed to be blocked off, like normally. Trying so hard not to bring up the map as much. I always just want to make sure I'm going the right way. Another cave over there. Man. Just seeing the vastness of this place is just like incredible. Try to see if we can get a good view of this. God, and you can see Uldog like clear in the back there. You can tell there's like a cave right there too. Yeah, it looks good. I cannot wait to get to Lenosha. Not that I'm trying to hurry up with Thanalan, it's just another area I do not know the layout at all. The one place that I did see when I was briefly exploring it was Alaport. And honestly, Alaport is, like, it's a sight to, like, behold. Because it is so different in A Realm Reborn. Yeah, so we'll probably just make our way down there. We'll probably wrap back to Camp Hoofbrug there. So I'll try not to bring up the map here, and we'll kind of just let the exploration take hold. I only wish there was some way I could turn off the interface. Like, I can hit the scroll lock button, but I can't, like I can only hold it and then it'll, like, disappear, but then when I let go, it reappears. I wonder what would happen if I nudge my character all the way down there. The good thing is, at least, like, I don't fall through the level. I'm also curious to see how far out of bounds I can get. Like, no matter what, if I nudge my character and she's sort of stuck in the air, she'll always sort of maintain, like, the height, unless I run into a wall that, like, knocks her down. This theme is just so good with this place. I like this area here, even though we kind of seen both of these quite a bit. It's a really cool looking area. Yeah, it's gonna just be another cave. So yesterday, after I played Skyward Sword, the new remaster of Chrono Cross, I bought that on the Switch. And I started playing that a little bit, and I'm not exactly sure how to feel about it yet. Like, I love Chrono Cross. I played it on the original PlayStation. The backgrounds, they look really nice. Like, I'm so happy they redid the pre-rendered backgrounds. But it's kind of interesting. So when you start the game, you start in this tower. And in this tower, it's sort of surrounded by these giant, like, dragon-like statues. I think in the game they call it the Dragon Fort or something like that. But when you start the game, your character and two others go up this elevator, and then pretty much from there you start the game. And the first room, you walk down the hallway and, like, the game slows down. Like, you can tell the game slows down. And for whatever reason, that has not been fixed in the remastered. Like, that was the first thing that I noticed or wanted to see, and I was like, I wonder if this game still slows down, and for some reason it still slows down. It's very minor, but it's like, you would think with new hardware and like, you'd be able to just run that game like no problem. But it's like little areas in Chrono Crash that does that. I just thought that was kind of interesting because that was the first thing that stood out for me. See, this area I really like because it's really different. Because it's just like a lot of like ridges and it's kind of interesting, the texture filtering. Just gonna get another view of these. Like ridges and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope this time I can get to a point where I can play Chrono Cross all the way through again, but it's kind of hard because we got Newfound Adventure coming up. And I'm just trying my best to play Elden Ring and Skyward Sword, but it's like ever since I got this to work, like this is literally all I've been doing. It's just playing Final Fantasy XIV. I guess now I can say I'm playing both versions of Final Fantasy XIV. And honestly, I really just play the game. Like, I'm not like a really hardcore player. I just play the game because I enjoy it. I'm sure at some point, like, I mean, I've done some high-end stuff. I have not done, I don't think, yeah, I haven't done any Savage Raids or anything like that. Like, I wanted to do, I think it was Eden Promise, like Eternity or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll watch a video on, that way I know the mechanics, because obviously anything that's high-end, I will watch the like videos on how to, or what to do and stuff like that. But I saw that video for the Eden Promise one, and I was just like, nope. I was like, maybe in the future, if I really hate myself enough, maybe I'll try to do Eden Promise, but I saw that and I was just like, with where I'm at right now, I don't think I'll be able to do that. It's just like you have to be on, like on your toes the entire raid. Like, it looks like you have to just like know what to do at every single second of that raid. So I think the only high-end one I did was the X2 and Endwalker. It was only because I wanted one of the weapons. So yeah, so we're gonna head to Camp Blue Frog here. Well, actually, let's do something different. Let's do what we did in the last video. Let's get a sneak peek of, let's see, where do I gotta teleport to? Actually, I don't know, it's the lower area here. So, Broken Water. yeah, so we're gonna get a sneak peek at that area. Broken water, yeah, because that'll be the last area there. Oh, it is gonna change the music. So here, we'll change the weather back real quick. Then I believe it was 62. Yep. I am a genius. Okay. Yeah, nice campfire here, but sadly still no NPCs. The nice thing about starting Lenosha is there is NPCs. I don't know how many, but I know in the first area there's NPCs, so one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to talk to them, and we're going to see what things they have to say. So yeah, we're just going to show you this new area here. So we're starting to get into some like interesting towers here, so but we'll look at that in the next video. So we're gonna set up, or I guess I should say, since the camp is already set up, we're gonna end the video here. So thanks for watching, guys, and if you're interested in seeing more stuff like this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Like, I plan on uploading tons more stuff about this version of Final Fantasy XIV, so yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.